She thinks speed limits are a suggestion, but is too scared to go on the highway. Also, she's pretty sure her name's about to be pronounced wrong. It's Apurva!
So, in case any of you were wondering, that was actually wrong. Any other immigrant kids out here tonight? Can I get a show of hands, please? Awesome. Now, how many of you actually know what your parents do for a living? If the answer is doctor, put your hand down. I don't want to hear it. We all know you have mommy issues. Like, I'll be the first to admit, I have no fucking idea what my dad does to make money. And the man's been doing it for years. Asking your immigrant parents what they do for a living is a little like taking suggestions at a college improv show. Like, Veda, I do the marketing for the buttons on space heaters. Or, I write code for unicorn grooming appliances. Or, I work in B2B sales for a company that develops digital banking solutions. Like, that's not a real job. Except that last one fully is, and my dad gets paid to do it. So, a couple times a year, I go up to my dad, and I ask him what he does. He spends 2 hours explaining it to me, at the end of which I repeat it back to him verbatim. He looks me dead in the eye, gives me a hug, and tells me I'm both wrong and an idiot. And then, when I think I finally got it, he switches jobs. If it isn't already obvious from all the dad jokes, this is my first time doing stand-up. And, you know, to fit in, I thought I'd come up here and talk about my sex life. Until I realized that writing stand-up material on something that doesn't exist is a little hard to do. So I figured I'd talk about the reason why instead. So earlier this week, I'm sitting there in the SEC, as per usual, and it's like hour 6 or 7 of my being there, so admittedly my brain is a little fried. When this guy walks up to the table next to mine and sits down. Let's call him Kevin. A few minutes later, another guy, we'll call him Bob, walks up to Kevin and goes, and I wish I was kidding, "Say, Kevin, fancy seeing you here. What brings you to the SEC?" And Kevin goes, "What can I say, Bob? I come here for the smoothies." "Say, have you tried the smoothies here?" Like, this is Kindlevin, not a Michelin-starred juicery. These two unironically sound like they're 50-year-old men sitting at a country club in suits, sipping whiskey and reminiscing, instead of 18-year-olds in gray sweatpants chugging purple smoothies in a building that has nothing to do with their degrees in economics, also known as capitalism for jocks. And at this point, I'm so sleep deprived that I have myself convinced I hallucinated this entire exchange. Until Bob goes, "Why, Kevin, have you ever seen the film The Darkest Hour?" The only way this conversation could get more painful is if this fucker quotes Winston Churchill right now. "Well, it's a 2-hour film about Winston Churchill. And in the movie, there's this scene where there's all these guys sitting around criticizing Churchill until someone in the room goes, 'Well, at least Churchill was right about Hitler.' And someone else replies, 'Well, even a stopped clock is right twice a day.' And you know, I just think that's such a nugget of wisdom. Because if you have a million ideas, well, at least one of them's got to be good." Like, I don't think like that guy could have misunderstood the metaphor more if he tried. But the one good thing that came out of all of this was that I was finally beginning to really feel for my dad. Like, I was starting to get what it felt like to have someone miss the point after 2 whole hours. Thank you.